And we are back. Welcome back to the Nations League prediction series. This video is going to be covering all of the matches taking place for you tomorrow, which is Monday. And apologies for not being able to get this video up for you yesterday. It's just been a very, very hectic few days for me, and something had to fall by the wayside. Unfortunately, I just wasn't able to bring this video to you yesterday, but that is one of the many reasons why I always like to try and post my videos at least 1 or 2 days in advance, because it then allows us time to still get a video up for you with plenty of time ahead of the fixtures being played. So this video is now going to be covering all of tomorrow's fixtures. If you want to see all of the predictions for today's games, that video was posted for you on Friday morning, and a link to that will be available here at the top of your screen. And that, of course, covers the England game taking place today. And as always, there will be a post-match reaction to England's game against Finland today. And thank you for all the amazing support, and for all of you that commented on my reaction to the England-Greece game. That's got a hell of a lot of traction, so thank you very much for that. And if you haven't done so already, please do consider dropping a like on this video if you do enjoy all of my predictions and reactions, and of course subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. There will still be one more video covering the final round of Nations League matches taking place on Tuesday. That will be now posted tomorrow morning instead of where it was supposed to be, which was this morning. So again, apologies for all of that. But as we look at the results so far for the Nations League, it's probably a good thing that I didn't post this yesterday morning, because we had an absolute stinker the night before. We only got 2 out of 8 for the matches that took place on Friday. But thankfully, we're in a position where last night we did really, really well. So the matches that took place on Thursday, we only got 2 out of 8. But the matches that took place last night, we actually got 5 out of 8. And we also got 2 correct scores. And if it wasn't for an own goal by Poland, we would have got 3 correct scores last night. So it was one of our best nights in terms of correct scores. And we also got 5 out of 8 in terms of results. However, having 2 nights combined of just 7 out of 16 means that we have now slightly dipped under that 50% for the Nations League with 38 out of 77, but 5 correct scores so far. And again, it's testament to UEFA for putting on this competition, making it so hard to predict, because genuinely, it is so hard to predict. So without any further ado, let's see how we get on today. We've got 10 matches that are going to be taking place on Monday night, and we've got games from Leagues C, B and A. So let's start with Group 1 in League C and the match between Azerbaijan and Slovakia. Now, already, this is a slightly difficult one to call. Slovakia won the game in Matchday 2, 2-0, and then came back from a 2-0 deficit to draw with Sweden on Friday night, thanks to Strelec, who got both goals in that 2-2 draw. Whilst that game was going on, before that game took place, it was Azerbaijan who were on the receiving end of a 3-1 defeat from Estonia. They did have a higher XG in that game, but they did only score a penalty, and that's probably why their XG was so high, because penalties are worth so much when it comes to XG. But it's a 3-1 win to Estonia, which is not a great result for Azerbaijan. And like I say, Slovakia also won the game in Matchday 2, so it's going to be no surprise to anyone that I'm going to go for Slovakia once again. And I'm actually going to go for a repeat of the scoreline from Matchday 2, and that is 2-0 to Slovakia. That then means that the other game in this group sees Estonia taking on Sweden. As we just said, Estonia are coming off the back of a 3-1 victory. Sweden are coming off the back of a 2-2 draw where they threw away that 2-goal lead. Now, in Matchday 2, it was a 3-0 victory for Sweden at home. And I remember mentioning this when I talked about this game last time around. When these two sides met a couple of years ago, it was actually this fixture, the match in Estonia, that Sweden won very heavily. And it was a 5-0 victory for them on that occasion. And speaking of 5, Sweden still have the leading goal contributor in the entirety of the Nations League in Viktor Gyökeres. He's on 5 goal contributions and has added an assist to that tally in the game against Slovakia. Realistically, even with Estonia on the bit of a high, I don't really see them getting a result in this one. I'm going to go for 4-1 to Sweden. I really do think they're just going to blow them away once again. But who knows? Estonia, like I say, they're going to have a little bit of confidence after beating Azerbaijan. They're fighting for their lives. They don't want to get relegated. And maybe at home, they might just get a result. On to League B, and we start off with Group 1. And this is the group that I just got completely wrong last time. I did Albania and Georgia both to win. and both of them lost. So shocking performance from me in regards to that. Both of the home sides, I always say home side, with obviously Ukraine not officially being at home, but the two home sides in Czechia and Ukraine got the wins there. So we'll start off with the two sides that lost on Friday night, and we have to look at the Matchday 2 result first, where we see that it was Georgia that won 2-0. And given the fact that Albania have now lost their last two, Georgia are now at home, despite the disappointing defeat to Ukraine on Friday night. You've got to fancy that, like I say, the fact that they won on Matchday 2 as well. Now they're at home. I think the expectation has got to be that Georgia get the win here. I'm going to go for 1-0, though. I can't see it being high scoring. Albania have not been the best in this competition so far, but now they're in desperate need of points. They might start producing some results. So I'm being very, very cautious with this one. I still think Georgia have to be considered the favourites for it, but that's why I'm only going to go for 1-0. I can see it being a very, very low scoring, very scrappy game. Both sides tend to play rather defensively. So I'll go for 1-0. We'll see what happens. Georgia, the favourites for me. That then means we move back to Hungary, where it is Poland, I believe it is. Yes, Poland. It's Poland where Ukraine play their home games at the moment. They are now taking on Czechia. In Matchday 2, it was a 3-2 win to the Czechs. However, it was a very, very even game. Like, you look at the XG for that match, it was both like 2.5, 2.8 or something. Both sides had like 20 shots on goal. It really could have gone either way. And I believe it was settled by a penalty. So very, very, very close to call. In terms of Friday, as we've already spoken about, Ukraine were able to get the win over Georgia thanks to Mikhailo Mudryk finally turning up for the first time properly this season. Whereas the Czechs, it was Chori who got both goals to see off Albania. So again, really, really tough one to call. It was 3-2 to the Czechs last time out. Now we're back in Poland. I really don't know where to put this. In my head, off the back of the momentum builder, I'm going to go for a win for Ukraine, but so tough to call. Honestly, all three results possible in both games once again here. But I'm going to be more realistic. I'm going to go for both of the home sides once again, and we'll see what happens. On to Group 4 in League B, and the predictions aren't getting any easier, because the first game here is Iceland taking on Turkey. Now, in Turkey, it was a 3-1 win in Matchday 2. However, the results on Friday night would suggest that this is going to be an interesting one. Iceland were 2-0 down to Wales at home and pulled it back to a 2-2 draw. And fair play for them for doing that. And whilst that was going on, Turkey were struggling to get a 1-0 win over Montenegro. Now, I say struggle. That is because they simply just could not put the ball in the net. They had 3 XG, but only scored 1 goal. So, in theory, Turkey did play better than what the 1-0 will suggest, but it also tells you that they're not really taking their chances. Then, you couple that with the fact that the last 3 times Turkey have gone to Iceland, Iceland have won the game. So, 3 wins in a row at home for Iceland over Turkey. They've obviously just produced a good result at home against Wales. Turkey can only get 1 against Montenegro. So, I now look at this fixture and say, Turkey should definitely be the favourites, but I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw, because I think at home, Iceland have got the capabilities of getting a result here. So that is what I'm going for. I'm going for a 2-2. I would still consider Turkey the favourite, but again, I'm not confident enough to give them the win. Then we have Wales taking on Montenegro. It was a 2-1 win for them in the game in Matchday 2 away from home. So now with Wales at home, you would definitely expect them to win. That said, as we just mentioned, they did blow that 2-goal lead to Iceland on Friday night, and Montenegro only lost by 1 goal to Turkey. But Wales have a Brennan Johnson that has scored now in 7 games in a row. You'd expect him to do something again tonight. Wales, like I say, back in front of the home fans. You wouldn't expect them to blow it again. I'm going to go for 2-0 to Wales. This is one that I'm actually pretty confident on, and I would be genuinely shocked if Wales don't get the result here. So I'm going for 2-0 to Wales. That then brings us on to League A, and we've got 2 groups in League A today. We've got groups 2 and 3, and we'll start off with Group 2. These sides all played on Thursday night. Why they've given it an extra day, I don't really know, but here we are. We start off with Belgium against France, and boy oh boy, what a difference a red card makes, because Belgium were done against Italy. This was one of the games that I was pretty happy with when I saw Italy go 2-0 up. because I think I did 3-1 to Italy on the night. Obviously, Belgium don't have Lukaku either. And then Pellegrini got sent off for Italy, and Belgium turned it on and got the result back. So fair play to Belgium for producing that result. Whilst that was going on, France were absolutely dispatching Israel. It was 4-1 in the end, 4 different scorers. Who needs Kylian Mbappe, am I right? And obviously no Mbappe or Lukaku for either side coming into this game tomorrow night. It was a 2-0 victory for France in Paris when these sides met on match day 2. I would still consider the French the favourites for this, but it's a very, very tight one. I'm going to go for 2-1 France. Yes, Belgium did produce the result against Italy, but as I said, it was against 10 men. So I don't see it happening here. I would still expect France to be the favourites for this. I still expect France to get the result, but I'm just going to go for 2-1 because, again, I'm not fully convinced it is going to be a French win. The other game in the group, again, I think this one is one that we can definitely have a little bit more certainty over. As I said, what difference a red card makes. Italy going down to 10, blowing the 2-goal lead. But now with 11 players available to them once again, obviously no Pellegrini available to them because he was the one that was sent off, coming up against an Israel side that just lost 4-1. I just don't think there's going to be any other result here than an Italian win. It was only a 2-1 victory for Italy in Hungary on match day 2, but I just think it's got to be Italy, surely. I think this would be the upset of the night if this isn't an Italian win. I'm going to go for 3-1 to Italy. I always give Israel a goal. Israel are always good for a goal. They got a goal against France, they got a goal against Italy, and they got a goal against Belgium in the first round of fixtures. So I'm going to give them a goal again, but surely Italy get the result here. And speaking of Hungary, this is why I got confused with the whole Ukraine thing earlier. Ukraine playing Poland, Israel playing Hungary. It is now Bosnia taking on Hungary in League 3. And, well, what an interesting night these sides had on match day 3. Because Hungary, off the back of getting the 0-0 draw, which was very disappointing against Bosnia, they then went and got a draw against the Dutch. Whereas Bosnia were arguably unlucky to lose 2-1 to Germany. So both of these sides are going to come into this game with a bit more confidence. Obviously, like we said, Bosnia were able to get the 0-0 draw in Hungary in match day 2. Hungary were then very, very unlucky not to get the win over the Dutch in match day 3. So it's so difficult to call where this one's going to go. Bosnia have got an Edin Dzeko at the age of 38, still producing the goods. He's already got 2 goals in this Nations League. They're now the home side. Hungary have still, in my opinion, got to be considered the favourites on the paper. They've got a much more talented squad, but oh man, this is the hardest game of the night. I'm convinced by that. You're not going to convince me any other way that this isn't the hardest single prediction of the night between Bosnia and Hungary. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. Honestly, I can't split them at all. Like I say, Hungary should be considered the favourites. They just got a great result against the Dutch, but Bosnia then held Hungary in the reverse fixture in match day 2 and only lost 2-1 to Germany. So both sides are playing well. Both sides merit they're getting a result in this one. So I'm giving both sides a result in this one by going for a 1-1 draw. And then finally, it is Germany taking on the Netherlands. And, well, for the Dutch, there is no Virgil van Dijk, who obviously was the player that was sent off against Hungary the other night. Thankfully for the Dutch, Denzel Dumfries was able to pop up with the equalising goal after Van Dijk got sent off. So you've probably got to throw a little bit of blame on Hungary for that one. As for Germany, they're still flying. They've got Dennis Undav, the top scorer in League A so far. They've got Musiala, the top goal contributor in League A so far. So even though they nearly blew it against the Bosnians, they were obviously still able to get the result thanks to the 2 goals from Undav. Now the Dutch are the side away from home. It was a 2-2 draw in Holland, but like I say, Dutch are now the away team. Van Dijk is now suspended. Germany are flying. If there's any other result from other than a German win, I would be a bit shocked. I'm going to go for 3-1 Germany, and that will all but, I think, possibly even secure them the spot at the top of the group regardless, because they'll be on 3 wins and a draw, whereas everyone else have had a fair few draws and defeats. So we'll see how things go. Those are all of my predictions for match day 4 for Monday night action. Thank you very much for watching as always. Let me know all of your thoughts down in the comment section below. I'll be back tonight with my reaction to the England-Finland game, and then I'll be back tomorrow morning to cover all of the matches taking place on Tuesday. Thank you very much for watching and listening once again. I will see you in one of those.